Hey guys, welcome to Bellerin United. Welcome to another video, and right now I want to talk about the case Nelson Semedo and that he wants to leave Barcelona this summer. And I want to get started by saying that it's fair that Semedo wants to leave Barcelona, that he's not happy with the amount of minutes that he's played, because he should have played more. In reality, he should have started both games against Liverpool, and it's a shame that he didn't, because, you know, in comparison to other players that have been not giving their best all season, he is being one of the few players who's being played the best of his ability, and he's not been able to progress forward because Valverde wanted to play Sergi Roberto instead, just because he's Sergi Roberto. And, you know, I'm not the one to attack Sergi Roberto, because he is a fantastic right back in my opinion. He is the second best Spanish right back right now, because the reality is that yes, Odriozola and Bellerin are better in potential, but they're not be given better performances than Sergi Roberto at right back. So he's not a bad right back, and if we trusted in Sergi Roberto and you tell me that he's gonna be the best right back for the club going forward, I'll take it, because he's a good right back. I just think there's better options out there that we can go for, and they would break the bank. Nelson Semedo, for example, is one of them. We have him here, and he is better than Sergi Roberto. So if you have him, my opinion is use him, utilize him, because the truth is that he is not happy with his minutes, because we are the cause. Us not giving him the minutes that he deserves is the cause that he didn't go to the World Cup last summer. And it's going to be the cause that if he keeps the Barcelona not playing enough minutes, he's the cause that he's not going to the Euros next season. So it's going to be very unfortunate if we let go of Semedo, and it will be a shame, because he's a fantastic player. He has everything. He doesn't need to be Dani Alves, but he's getting not close to Dani Alves' performances, but he looks similar. Like, he's really good going forward. He still has a lot of pace. He defends very, very well. He is very good tactically with the ball. He's very smart. He knows when to go and when to not go. Defensively, he can correct with his speed. His dribbling has been really good. His link-up play. And it's been a shame that we've not been able to give some of the Barcelona players continuity. But because, for example, you have Dembele and Nelson Semedo, who whenever they play together in that same wing, it's fantastic to watch. Their partnership is like watching a worse version of Dani Alves and Messi, but still a really good one. And it will be really interesting to see that going forward. But again, we have to give our players continuity, because they need to be able to trust in themselves and know that one mistake doesn't mean that they're going to be expelled from the side like for the next 10 games. You know, it's completely understandable that he wants to look options somewhere else to play a lot of minutes. And to people saying that why would he change playing like half the games for Barcelona and winning titles while you're going to play probably 90% of the games at Atletico Madrid and not win anything? And my thing is, you don't know that. What he knows is that he needs to play minutes because he wants to progress his career. Like, when you like to play football, you want to play football. It's not all about the money or the titles. You mainly want to play football. You want to play your best football. You want to be able to show the best of yourself. And with this said, I don't know if the board are willing to trust in Nelson Semedo. And if they're not, there's options out there that they want to, you know, the likes of CDB, the likes of Ricardo Pereira, Joshua Kimmich. And for example, Joshua Kimmich is a very similar example to the likes of Sergi Roberto. He's a midfielder that's been reconverted to right back, but he's being converting to right back usefully. Like, he is a really good player at right back. And yes, Joshua Kimmich would be really interesting at Barcelona if we were to sign him, but I think that the fee will be high to the point where we can get better than Kimmich for a fraction of the price. I think CDB, again, a good player. Ricardo Pereira, another good player. They're all really good players, but they're going to be pretty much Nelson Semedo 2.0, a player that's not going to be given enough continuity if they do well, and you're probably going to be losing in performances because you're not giving enough continuity. Another option is trust the youth, trust the youngsters in the team. Like we have likes of Musa Wagué, we have Emerson, two right backs that look very promising. At least Wagué, every time that he's played for Barcelona this season against Huesca, against Celta, he gave really good, interesting performances. Okay, he made mistakes, like everyone, but I think in a team where you're not playing next to all the youngsters, but instead you're playing with the first team, he could give that up in performances and he could really show what he's made about. He went with into the World Cup with Senegal, so he's a World Cup type player, and he's a player that I think is ready to step into the first team. If we're gonna sell Semedo, then maybe give Wagué a chance, like maybe a backup chance at least, to play those few minutes that you want to play. So Emerson, the same thing. We bought him from Brazil. Then we have him shared with Betis, a really weird operation in my opinion. But you have the likes of, he looks promising for Betis, and I'm gonna like follow him a lot next season when he's playing at Betis under the new manager. I think that there's other options out there. I'll say, for example, there's 3 names that I have out there that are my first choices for right position. One is like the guarantee, like the dream. Another one is like the hidden gem that I think not people know of, but I think would be really good. And in the video, you're gonna be seeing that he is one really promising right back, and in my opinion is the best closest thing to Dani Alves that I've seen for a long time. And then you have like the youngster that he's gonna be really young, and when Sergi Roberto's downing in performances, he can maybe take his spot and he will accept a lower role in the team. But again, it's gonna be a very similar situation to like Wagué and Emerson. So with that said, let's get into the 3 players that I think can be joining Barcelona if Semedo leaves this summer. So the first one is the most obvious one, Héctor Bellerin. He's a player that was at La Masia, that for a long time, before we signed Semedo, I was a big fan of reuniting 2 former Barcelona fullbacks to be our fullbacks for the coming years, and those were Grimaldo and Héctor Bellerin. I think Bellerin has been unlucky with injuries on Arsenal. It's just been unlucky in my opinion. He's a fantastic right back, good quality. He could be fantastic. I know that with the recurring problems at Arsenal, he could maybe, we could like maybe do a deal of somewhere, like I think they want Arsenal wants Andre Gomez, so maybe we can do kind of a deal between that, like Andre Gomez plus money for Bellerin. I think would be kind of good for us. I think that if we sign Héctor Bellerin, he is for me one of the best right backs in the world when fit. He has blistering pace, would give us a lot going forward, and he knows Barcelona. He's a Barcelona boy. He was our academy, and it would be a shame not to use him and not to get him if Semedo is going to leave in the coming summer. So the other player is, I'm going to go for the youth player and then for the hidden gem after. The youth player that I think has been really interesting this season for like breaking star is Porro from Girona. He has been fantastic this season. I don't think he's blessed with unbelievable pace, but he's quite fast, and more importantly, he has a good engine on him. He has a lot of good energy going up and down, especially going up. He has really good delivery from crosses. His attacking play and link-up play is quite good. But again, I think he could have similar problems to the likes of Wagué, Emerson, that he's too young and he might just be sidelined and not used at all. And I think that would be a shame, because if you're going to bring a young promising right back, you have to use him in some way or another. You must use him because he's a useful player. I think Porro, for what I've seen, would be interesting if Girona get relegated, so get him out of Girona, another team in Catalonia. Maybe we can get him on the cheap and maybe put another of our players in there, and who knows, it could be very interesting for Barcelona going forward to get someone like Porro. So now the hidden gem. I think this is a player that it's been very good this season, and that I'm surprised with what I've seen, because he surprised me, and his name is Atal. He's a right back that plays for Nice. He's Algerian, and what can I say? The guy just delighted me. Not only he had a fantastic season, stats and by play, he suits our playstyle. Like, he's like watching the Dani Alves from Sevilla before he joined Barcelona. Like, it's phenomenal what this kid looks like. Like, he looks absolutely world class. Like, my opinion is keep Semedo, but if you're not gonna keep Semedo, you go for this kid, because even though Bellerin is a guy that knows the house and everything, if you're gonna trust in the right back, you go ahead and trust in this guy, because I'm sure that he will deliver. That he could be one of the. He looks like Matthijs de Ligt, like Kylian Mbappe. He looks like a player that, if things go right for him, he's gonna be one of the best in history of players in his position. He looks that good. Going forward, he just has that energy. Like, he just has like everything. He's like a winger playing a right back. Players like Marcelo, players like Dani Alves, they're all players that they're not blessed with defensive output, but in the attacking areas, they're really decisive and can do things on their own. He can do a lot of dribbles per game. He can defend very well. He obviously he's gonna make mistakes, but he's young and he could progress in the near future. So I think Youssef Atal, he just looks fantastic, and if like I have an outside hope that we're gonna sign him, but he's not being rumored for Barcelona. He's been rumored more for like teams like Tottenham Hotspur and Atletico Madrid. Teams in the Bundesliga have been looking at him, but I think, you know, he's not gonna cost probably more than 20 million euros. I mean, if Sergi went for 24, was it, to Fulham, I don't think he's gonna cost more than 15 to 20 million euros. And for a player that can maybe like multiply his value by 5 in one season after he gives a performance for a big team in Europe, you should take a punt on him. Like, if the worst thing that happens is that you get your money back for him. He's not gonna be bad to the point where you don't get your money back for him. He's a fantastic right back. He has a lot of potential. He's young, and not trusting in the project would be a wrong idea. So, but more importantly, talking about Atal, talking about Kimmich, Grimaldo, Bellerin, all these youngsters, the most important thing is trust in whoever you're gonna bring in. And if you're not gonna bring in anyone, you make sure you get your backup right back set up, and you put Sergi Roberto as your main right back with no discussion. So we know who is supposed to be the star in the team. And we have players like, even if you're going to trust in Semedo and you're going to give him continuity, you make sure that he gets continuity. And then continuity, I mean 80% of the games of the season. A lot of full games in the season. That's what I want to see. Sergi Roberto can play those 20% remaining games. He can play them on the right back position, and the rest he can play everywhere else, because he's a good player everywhere else. Like, he gives at least a 7 out of 10 performances pretty much every game. He can play in the CDM position, in the center midfield position. He can play at the right wing position, even right midfield position. He can play everywhere else, and I'm sure could play 60-70% of the minutes in the season easily. So with all that said and done, leave me comments in the comment section below. Do you think Semedo should leave? Do you think he should go? Of the options that I listed before, who do you think should join Barcelona? And if I missed any names that you think are really good and I didn't mention, leave me your options in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one, Blaugranas.